All right, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about setting up ad sets within Facebook. So let's talk about ad sets. So first of all, the ad set is really where you're picking who you want the ad to be shown to. So you're choosing the audience, the age, the gender, the interests of the person that you want to reach, even the placement, like if you want to reach them on their mobile or desktop. So one thing that we like to do when targeting our audiences is we don't like to put too many restraints on Facebook, meaning we like to put as few targeting points as we possibly can. And by quote unquote going broad like that, we can actually let Facebook do most of the heavy lifting for us as far as letting them find who the best audience is for our ad. And we're getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves, and we'll cover this in more detail later. But let's just talk about in general the overall strategy of how to go about picking the audience in the ad set. So the first question that you need to ask yourself is this: do you have an existing list in the vertical that you're running your ads in? So if you do have an existing list, like an email list or a phone number list, then this is where you want to start as far as your audience. So if you have an email list or a phone number list of at least 1,000, preferably over 3,000 people, then what you can do is you can actually import that data into Facebook, and you can create something called a lookalike audience, which we're going to cover more. But a lookalike audience basically is when Facebook takes the list of data that you provide them, and they go out and find people on Facebook that are similar to the list of people that you uploaded. So, for example, if I had a list of 3,000 email addresses that I had of people that were interested in getting an auto loan, then maybe they opted into an auto loan offer or something like that, then I could upload those into a lookalike audience in Facebook, and Facebook would help me find millions of other people that fit that exact same demographic. Okay. So generally speaking, most people don't have a list, and they'll fall into the next category. So if you don't have an existing list, then you have two options. The first option that you have is to try to get a list. So generally when I'm moving into a new vertical to run ads in, generally I don't have a list. So whenever I'm starting out on a new campaign or something like that, I'm usually in the same boat as everyone else where I don't have an existing list. Well, how do I get this list? Where does it come from? Well, this is where having a great relationship with your affiliate manager comes in handy. The affiliate manager is the one that's in charge of allocating, allowing people to run the lead gen offers, and typically affiliate networks collect data from their offers. So when somebody completes an offer on the affiliate network, for the most part, generally speaking, affiliate networks actually collect all that data. So if they have an auto loan offer, they might actually have, a bunch of data for people that have opted in to the offer, especially if they own the offer. But if they don't have the data, then generally they can ask the advertisers, so the actual auto loan, lead gen company or whatever it is, they can ask them for data. So affiliate managers are wise to the fact that Facebook advertisers like to have some data to work with in order to kick off their campaigns. And if you have a really good relationship with your affiliate manager and they really trust you, I usually have no problem getting affiliate managers to actually give me email lists. I just ask them for the data. I say, hey, it'll really help me kick off this campaign. And usually it's no problem. They'll send me over an email file of, I've had affiliate managers send me email files of tens of thousands of people that are interested in a certain thing or opted in or bought a certain product. So that's one place where you can get it. Another place is directly from the advertiser themselves. So directly from like the car loan offer, for example. But generally speaking, if you're running through an affiliate network, you're not going to have access to the direct advertiser. So again, the only way to really do it is through the affiliate manager. All right. So what about buying data? Like, what about going to something like Axiom or something like that and just straight up buying data? Well, first of all, that's very expensive to buy data like that. And it's also most likely going to be low quality. And, those emails are not going to be, it's likely that those emails are just not very good. So I really don't suggest buying data. The second option that you have is just building from scratch. So, I've done this plenty of times. If I can't get my hands on any data from the affiliate manager or anything like that, the last resort that you have is just building it from scratch. And I've done this many times, and usually your ads start out not as profitable if you're not targeting a lookalike audience or something like that. But as you build up data and create your own audiences based on the data that you're collecting from your ads, then your profit margin can go up and up. So here are some examples on how to target. All right. So example one here is for a nursing offer. How would we target this? So let's say that we didn't have an email list or we couldn't get data from the affiliate manager to create a lookalike audience to target in the ad. The only option that we have then is to do some interest targeting. So for something like this, I remember when I was running this campaign, I wasn't able to get data for this specific vertical. So what did I do? I actually used interest targeting. So I targeted people that were interested in the topic of nursing, but I excluded people who matched the interest of registered nurse RN. So the idea behind this was to target people that were interested in becoming a nurse, but exclude people that were already nurses. And also the offer, the offer didn't work for people that were already registered nurses. So here's another example. There was an education offer for people to get a forensic science degree. So how did we target this? So this was another example where I wasn't able to get my hands on any sort of data to create a lookalike audience. So I had to use traditional interest targeting. So how did I do it? I first of all included the interest of being a high school graduate because, I didn't want to be targeting people for college classes that were in high school. And I also targeted people that were interested in criminal justice. Also, I created an exclusion. So when you're targeting interests in Facebook, you can say, okay, I want to target these people, but you can also say I want to exclude a certain audience as well. So I excluded people that had master's degree doctorate degree and associate's degree because I didn't want to target people that had already finished school. So here's kind of what this looked like on the left-hand side here. So this is sort of exactly what I just said, but typed into the actual ad set setup in Facebook. Okay, so targeting, generally speaking, can be pretty simple. So don't try to overcomplicate it too much. Just look at your offer and ask yourself who might be interested in this offer. So for this example, like for the forensic science or the nursing, obviously the prime candidate was someone who had graduated high school, who hadn't yet graduated college, but was also interested in those specific topics. All right. So once you start running ads, Facebook has an area called Audience Insights, where you can actually get data as far as who has what interests, right? So the Audience Insights tool can be very helpful to look at as far as what potential interests or genders or ages might be interested in what you're offering. But generally speaking, I don't use this too much. I try to just think about who in a broad sense would be interested in this and then target those people. Sometimes if you're looking at Audience Insight, it's tempting just to layer on way too much targeting into the ad set, which can ultimately hurt the performance of it, because the more restraints that you put on Facebook as far as who they can show your ad to, there's just a lot more room for error for them to mess it up. So as I said before, I'd like to let Facebook do most of the heavy lifting. And when I'm setting on my ad sets, I'd like to use as few interests as possible. Now, for the nursing and the forensic science, I had to use a little bit more detailed targeting than I normally would just because of the nature of the offer. But some of my best campaigns in the car loan vertical or the real estate vertical have had absolutely zero targeting. So running to no interest, to all ages, to all genders, and all devices and placements on Facebook, and literally just letting Facebook do the heavy lifting as far as, showing the ad to the right person, because Facebook is just so good at that, and I like to let them do the hard work. So for device types, mobile or desktop, generally speaking, I don't specify whether I want it to run on only mobile or only desktop. I'll usually have both selected, and then once the ad starts running, Facebook will actually pick which one is getting the better results, and it'll push all the traffic towards that device type. So usually it ends up being, about 90% mobile or something like that. But I found that actually specifying, okay, I only want this to run on mobile versus letting Facebook choose mobile versus desktop, it gets better results. So this goes back to the whole point of, letting Facebook do the heavy lifting. So the next part of the ad set section here are the placements. So these are the actual areas that your ad is going to be shown. So where do we publish the ads? So with placements, generally speaking, whenever I'm launching a new campaign, I'll actually run it to all the placements. Once I get some data in as far as how things are doing, I can then cut placements that are just really not working. So let's say that my ad is working really well on Facebook, but not on Instagram. I might cut the Instagram placement, or vice versa. Let's say it's really doing well on Instagram but not on Facebook, then I might cut Facebook. But whenever I launch an ad, I just let it run, and then I'll look at the data in the campaign breakdown and I'll see what's getting the best results. And, sometimes I just won't do anything, because if you don't do anything, generally what Facebook will do is they'll push all the traffic over time to whatever the placement is that gets the best results. So you really don't have to overthink it. And, I keep repeating this, but you can let Facebook do the heavy lifting and just let the data guide you. So the next option that you have in the ad set is your bidding. So you have two options. You have auto bidding or manual bidding, and this is generally bidding for impressions. So Facebook charges on a CPM basis, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. Or to put it more simply, Facebook charges you money every time 1,000 people, per 1,000 people that view your ad is basically the metric. So you have two options. You can either let Facebook, choose the bidding price of what you want to pay for these ads, or you can force it manually. So when we're launching, we always start with auto bidding. Okay. So the way that how auto bidding works, the whole Facebook bidding system works like a marketplace. But with auto bidding, Facebook will generally try to get you the cheapest results that they possibly can. But this really depends on how many other people are bidding in the same marketplace. So for auto bidding, generally speaking, what you do is you just set a daily budget for your ad, and you let Facebook handle all the work behind the scenes as far as, trying to win you the auction and get you the cheapest results that you possibly can. So how much of a daily budget should you allocate towards your ad set? Well, in a best possible scenario, it would be great to have a daily budget that was 10 times the amount of your conversion objective. So, for example, let's say that you're bidding for leads and your conversion objective is $2 per lead. Well, it would be good then to have a budget on the ad set of $20 so that you could potentially get 10 conversions in a day. Now, the reason why this number is significant is because these conversions are important to Facebook. The more conversions that you feed in to Facebook, the more data that they're getting to help serve your ad to better people. So if you put a very, very small daily budget on your ad, let's say that your daily budget is only $5, well, that's not giving Facebook very much to work with, because they're not getting very much data in to decide if one placement is better than the other, or if mobile is better than desktop, or if male is better than female, or if younger demographic is better than older demographic. But basically what I'm getting at is the more of a daily budget that you can afford to test with, the more Facebook can help you optimize your ads to get you to profit faster. So once you start up an ad, it's important not to kill ads too quickly. The reason why is because once you start an ad, Facebook has so much to do as far as improving and showing your ad to the perfect audience. And it really does take a few days for Facebook to really learn who the best audience is for your ad and then start pushing the traffic towards that ideal audience. So if you start an ad and you kill it too quickly, like, if you kill it 5 hours after you started, or, halfway through the day, then you're not really giving yourself a very good chance, because Facebook just hasn't had that time yet for their algorithm to learn and optimize your ad. So just a quick summary here. For audience targeting, you just want to be thinking about who's interested in this offer. And then just, if you don't have lookalike audience data to upload, then do some basic interest targeting as far as who might be interested and put in those interests. So all the other settings, you want to, generally speaking, it's a good idea to go broad and to let Facebook auto optimize. And of course, once your ad starts running, you'll be able to actually see concrete data as far as what performs better than something else. And you can always decide to cut placements or target your ad further as far as age, gender, so on and so forth, once the ad actually starts running. But if the ad is never ran, you don't have any data, you don't know what to do yet. So just go broad and let the data come in and let Facebook do that work for you. Okay. And for daily budgets, we talked about having a daily budget that was 10x the conversion objective. So let's say that you're generating a lead that, pays out $10. Then it would be a good idea to have a daily budget of $100. So you could generate 10 leads per day and feed Facebook enough data for them to properly optimize your ad. So if you're getting overwhelmed, I know this is a lot of information, but don't worry. We're actually going to show a step-by-step process on how to set this all up and launch it. So coming up next, we're going to talk about just the initial launch and how to go about starting the launch of a Facebook campaign. See you in the next video.